Hi everyone, it's James here from Pro Tools Expert, and hopefully you're back here for part 2 of my Focusrite Red 4 pre-review. This time we're going to record some bass and a lead guitar track. Now we're going to do that connecting this thing to my MacBook Pro via Thunderbolt. Before, if you remember, we used the HDX connectors on this thing, the mini Digilink connectors, and hooked it up to my HDX card to record the drums. This time we're going to record the bass and the guitars using the Thunderbolt connection, but we're also going to do it with a twist, but more about that twist later. So first things first, let me show you how I've connected this thing up, and I'll show you around how we set it all up, and then let's get on and do some recording. So the first thing we need to do is change the mode of the Red 4 Pre. We hit meter and monitor, and in the host section we hit the button and we say yes, and this will convert it into Thunderbolt mode, which will require the unit to restart, which it's now doing, and it will appear with Focusrite on the lovely screen. There it is, and you'll see very shortly that we are now locked in Thunderbolt mode. 2 green lights, internal and locked, which is a good thing. We're now going to plug our bass guitar into instrument 1, and we're going to change the actual type of connection from mic through line into instrument. Let's just make sure we've got some signal going in there. Plenty of that, we like that. We're also going to track with some plugins. We're going to use EQ3 and Dynamics 3. Not trying to prove a point, but it just makes the thing sound nicer on the way in and less work to do later on. So let's track some bass. So there we go, that's the bass tracked with plugins. Now, of course, those plugins aren't committed to tape as such, because we'd have to route things a different way in Pro Tools. It's not how it works. But it's very handy to be able to have a nice EQ tone and some compression, just to give me a sound, well, that's a bit more bass-like, quite frankly. So the next thing I'm going to do is track a guitar part, a lead guitar line. We'll do that using my rather lovely Chandler, a couple of mics, and we're going to plug those mics in via a Dante-equipped mic pre. In this case, we're going to use the Focusrite MP8R, and that is hooked up via a network cable to the back of the Red 4 Pre. Now, there's some cool stuff going on here. Let me show you on the MacBook Pro screen. So the MP8R is actually positioned next to the guitar cabinet in the studio, and you can see here lots of lovely signal getting to it from our 2 microphones. So flicking over into Pro Tools, you can see here the Focusrite control panel, which I can open up so I can see all my hardware inputs, and I can choose to see more or less of them using this open up tab here. There's all my Dante inputs. I need to see 1 and 2 at the moment. And I've got 2 alternative mixes, my 2 alternative headphone mixes. This is the nice thing about having the Red 4 Pre connected via Thunderbolt. I can actually use the headphone mixes built into the Focusrite control panel. And my custom mix is my main output through my 2 speakers. Now, just to prove a point, we're going to go to Setup, to Playback Engine, and you can see here we're using the Focusrite Thunderbolt connection at 64 samples, which is really rather nice. So here's an extra couple of guitar tracks we're going to use, and the inputs are Dante 1 and Dante 2. Labelled up correctly, of course. We're going to make one more connection. Now, this is a Dante connection, a network connection between the Red 4 Pre and my MacBook Pro using a Thunderbolt converter connector thing. Now, this, of course, is not being our audio signal. We're still using Thunderbolt. What it allows us to do is to control the MP8R using RedNet control. Now, that's exactly what this panel is here, and I can control all the attributes of the MP8R, including gain, pad, high-pass filter, phase, phantom power, all the normal stuff from here. Now, you'll also see at the top of the RedNet control, this is kind of a blacked out, greyed out kind of a device. That's actually the Red 4 Pre. At the moment, you cannot control the preamps on the Red 4 Pre using RedNet control. So let's track some guitar. So there you go. That's the 3 parts of our track recorded. Drums using the HDX connection and the mini Digilink connectors on the back of the Red 4 Pre. We've done bass using the inbuilt instrument inputs, the Ivey instrument inputs hooked up via Thunderbolt into my MacBook Pro. And we've also recorded the lead guitar line using a Dante equipped mic pre hooked up to the network ports on the Red 4 Pre, which is Thunderbolted into the MacBook Pro. Confused? Yes, me too. But hey, so next time out, what we're going to do? Well, there's one more connection left to hook up this thing directly to the computer, and that is to hook this thing via its network port, via its Dante port, directly into the network port on my computer. And we'll do that using the Dante virtual sound card. Now, we'll treat that as a mixing session, so we don't have to worry quite so much about latency. Not that there is very much. But it's another flavour of I/O that you've got from this baby, which is what makes it so very, very cool. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, since I like this thing so much, why haven't I done something quite obvious? Well, quite frankly, you're going to have to wait until part 3 of the review for that one. But for now, I've been James from Pro Tools Expert, and I'll see you again soon for some more gear talk.